Hey everyone, it's Darren Paltrowitz from the Paltrocast with Darren Paltrowitz, but maybe more importantly, Sportskeeda. And going to be joined in a few minutes by Ricky Starks, NWA star Ricky Starks. The real Shanky says hello, so does Manhash. Well, we're going to be taking all your questions when Ricky signs on. Tommy, can you join and talk wrestling? Maybe. How about this? Just send in your questions and Ricky will get to them when he's on. And any second now we'll be getting Ricky. I'm going to just message him real quick. On. Ready when you are. You have me in comments. Thank you, Real Shanky. And hi to Abby Maniac and Kamg and Daniel Thomas Miliotto. Lots of great people logging on here already. Shanky's saying hello to everybody. This is one of the earliest times I've woken up in months now. In New York, it's right now a little before 9:30 a.m. Let's see. Ricky says he's on. Just get onto the IG live stream and I'll add you. Multitasking, people. Ayush, thank you very much. Love from India. Okay. So let's see. Do we have Ricky here? In the process of joining. India is here. New York is here. India's there. We're all everywhere, I guess. Rohit just joined. Hey, man. And then here's Ricky. We are adding Ricky.
Uh-oh.
That looks like we have a legend joining us. The legendary.
What's up, y'all?
Too early.
Can you hear me?
Too early to call you? I can hear you fine. A little bit of a buffering. Wow, Zicky Dice has just joined us.
It's showing that it's
trying to take his
buffering on
title
your
back?
end.
Is what's going on? Oh, well, let's see. Is it buffering for me, Zicky, or both?
It was buffering for you, but it seems to be good now.
Wow, Zicky is saying hi, Ricky. Is Zicky starting something pretty early here?
I'm ignoring him. We're not entertaining him. He's a pest. He only causes a lot of problems.
Got it. Well, how are you doing this morning? You are not a pest. You are a legend. Am I right here, Ricky Stark?
A living legend. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really good. That was a Larry Zbyszko reference for any fans who are watching, who love WCW.
Of course. Hey, he feuded with Bruno. He kept it going with the NWO. How many people went as long as Zbyszko did?
And not a lot of people. Not a lot of people who say they've been in the business for that amount of time.
Of course. Well, we are going to be taking questions here as they come in. So many things that I could be asking you. I just asked you how you're doing here. But what have you been doing to pass the time here since you've been holed up there? You're in Austin, right?
Yeah, I'm in Austin, Texas. I've been just working out at the park, working out in my apartment, doing prison workouts. So stuff like that is, it's what I've been trying to do. Nothing special.
Prison workouts, like the movie Get Hard with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. That kind of prison workout stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I just see a thing here. It says, who's your favorite legend in the wrestling world? Were they baiting you for Larry Zbyszko right there?
No, that would be Undertaker. Undertaker is my favorite wrestler of all time, and a living legend, bar none.
So you've been watching The Last Ride, I take it.
Yeah, I have actually. And it's been pretty good. Funny thing is I when he's training in that little thing, that's where we trained at with him for like 3 or 4 days.
Wow, wow. I think
Yeah.
Abby had a question there. Abby, what was your question? How did you become a critical part of the NWA?
How did I become? You know what? The funny thing is that the NWA found me through these. I made these vignettes and I posted them online. And I don't think they ever saw me wrestle. I don't think they ever heard me talk. But they saw these videos that I produced, and I think from that they was like, "Wow, this guy's pretty creative." And so they brought me in. I do the power episode. I go on and cut that promo, and then I think it kind of surprised them of how good I was, and I think it just went from there. I think that talent, it's very hard to ignore. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, I have that plentiful, and just I think just by contrast too, it's it's a welcomed change. Everything seems to be very I don't want to say it, I guess sterile in a way nowadays. Everything is pretty much predictable and comparable to one another. And I think someone like me who comes along and I don't really fit in any type of box, really. So I think that's how I was able to become a critical part in that way.
Well, I see a question from Rohit. Rohit, great writer for Sportskeeda. Some of his question was already answered. You had said The Undertaker is your favorite, but they said, do you watch a lot of Golden Era WWF, WWE?
A golden era. I think, honestly, this is pretty much for up debate, but I think the golden era was that 2001, 2002 period. I really think that's where you had the best of both worlds as far as wrestling go and entertainment. It really hits its stride between those two years.
But you mentioned WCW before because this is going to be the probably 10th Larry Zbyszko reference right there. What year or what era did you first get into wrestling?
I got into wrestling. So my brother and sister watched it, right? And I was born in 1990. So I've been a wrestling fan for that long. But my first memory of it was from like 96, 97. And that was like that's the first vivid memory I can remember. So, it just things like that. Though I will tell you, the Brawler Room Brawl with Taker is my first match that I really enjoyed.
Wow. That's a classic right there. Mark, looks like they just said, why do you think the NWA stands out?
Why do I think the NWA stands out? Well, for the fact that when you compare it to the product that you see on now, the production is a lot different. The wrestlers are a little bit different. There's some wrestlers that are the same, but I just think from a visual standpoint, aesthetically, it stands out in that regard. And then you have the matches too. I don't want to say it's not as match heavy for certain promotions, but when it comes to the NWA, there is a fine balance that is trying to be found. And I think that since you have good delivery with your promos, the matches too are also good because now you're invested in that.
Right. Rohit, another question here. Was there any specific match that made you take up wrestling as a career? Good question, Rohit.
Let me read that because there's a reverb coming from the camera. So there wasn't a specific match in mind. It just was being a fan of wrestling that really made me want to do this when I grew up. So I'm a very particular type of person in the sense of, I don't really try to just pick one thing and go with it. It's more of I've watched it for so long that I just like the whole essence of it.
Right. I mean, we've talked about the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. Did you ever get out of wrestling and go, hey, no, music is my thing, or another kind of hobby?
Unfortunately, no. And I think if I had found another outlet, maybe the disappointments in wrestling wouldn't feel as bad. But no, just wrestling has been the only thing that I really wanted to do. So I don't get me wrong though. I like to do other stuff. Like I love graphic designs and I love creating videos and producing those. Those are fun. But I think as far as a true passion goes, wrestling just takes up that slot.
Sure. Shanky asked, who is your favorite opponent up until now? I'm sure you can answer that one for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think my favorite opponent would have to be MJF at Inspire.
Now, MJF, he's been interviewed on Sportskeeda. His star has risen, but he's just one of the greats you've been in the ring with. Can we name check a little bit for the people who don't yet know the essence of Ricky Starks? Who are some of the people that you've been in the ring with?
So let's see, Sammy Guevara, MJF. Damn, this is a good one. Kane. I wrestled Kane on Main Event. I'm trying to think. Are we naming just my opponents that I like? Zicky Dice is one of them. Nick Aldis. Trevor Murdoch. Rob Conway. The list goes on and on and on. MVP. So that's just a few.
World champion, a tag champion, a U.S. champion. The champions get in the ring with you, and you yourself are a television champion here. Well, that's a question here. Who's your best friend? Are you allowed to say that one?
I don't have best friends. I have friends. They're all the best. All my friends are the best. I don't have a best friend. I am not a champion anymore, Darren. I lost the title.
Well, when somebody is a champion, don't you call them the champion the rest of your life?
I don't, because that would be a lie. Now, if they're a champion, they're a champion by nature, sure. But as far as a champion goes with a physical title, unfortunately not.
But it's one of those kinds of things where we've established you as a champion, yet a performer that's so charismatic that they don't need a championship to be important.
Thank you. You know, I try to tell myself that every day I wake up, and every waking moment I start to believe that more and more. So just a descent into the abyss, as I say, as far as crazy this goes.
So we got you on here. You've talked about the prison workouts. What else is taking up your time here?
Prison workouts, and I've been playing a lot of State of the Decay 2. It's a zombie game where you have to basically, it's like Walking Dead. You have to build up your own community, and yeah, it's very addicting.
Oh, NWA question again from Rohit. Thoughts on Tim Storm and why he's important to the NWA? Well, do you say the NWA or do you just say NWA? That's, I think, even more important of a question.
I say, wow, that's a good question. I say NWA. But in regards to Tim Storm's is an awesome guy. I've wrestled him before. He's a great person with a great heart. And so I think it's important to have those type of individuals at, in different locker rooms, just because, one, it's needed. It's someone who, isn't going to BS you about anything. And I think Tim is that type of person when it comes to that.
That was a question above. They said, is Seth Rollins better as a heel or a face? I don't know. You don't have to touch that one if you don't want to.
I don't have a response to that one.
You mentioned zombies. They said your favorite Walking Dead character, and do you miss Rick Grimes on the show?
I'll be honest with you. I don't really watch Walking Dead. I've only watched up to the episode with is it Negan?
Yes.
And I heard after that episode, it kind of went downhill, and the Negan character has taken just a nosedive. But I don't know. I mean, I like Rick Grimes. He's cool. I like Negan though. He's cool too.
They kind of NWO'd it, you add in Virgil and then all the extra dudes kind of didn't need to be there. That's kind of what happened now that you have the second Walking Dead show. I guess that would be like the NWO, LWO, and then you got the third Walking Dead, and then I think that's the NWO 2000. That's kind of what's going on with that one.
That's a great analogy.
Well, I think my wife is nodding at that one. Yeah, okay, she did. For the record, she did nod at that one. What do you think of the no fans in? I don't even understand that one. Do you have aspirations?
I think they're asking, what do we think about the wrestling shows with no crowd? Honestly, I don't like them. I don't care for them. It's not the same, and I refuse to watch it.
Well, are you using this time to watch old wrestling at all?
Well, I've always been watching wrestling, all types of wrestling. If anything, honestly, I haven't watched that much wrestling since quarantine. There's certain stuff that I'll watch like about once, twice, but I haven't really went crate searching, as I call it, for new stuff. So it's just a lot. There's just a lot of stuff, and it's overwhelming at first. So I need to sit down and, man, I've been going hard for so long that I wanted to take time and enjoy like a video game finally. Every weekend it's always come home from work and then I'm just watching wrestling. It's like, I like it, but I just want to take some time for myself.
Right. I was just told that Fear of the Walking Dead is great, and then I'm totally wrong. On that one, the jury's out on that one. Shanky,
right.
Another from Shanky. Thoughts on the Undertaker versus AJ Styles match? Because before you're saying Undertaker's your all-time favorite. Oh.
Loved it. So good. So good. Such a great match. Not even because Undertaker's in it. But, I mean, yeah, that is true, but he's just so good. Gosh, such a... I love the match. I love it. Everyone, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's great. Thoughts on cinematic matches? I think they're good when done right. Though the 50 million camera cuts and all that, let's just stop it. I should be the producer. I could do that better. Well, I wrestled a broom.
You did wrestle a broom. That was one of the first cool things I would say of the wrestling pandemic-related content. You wrestling a broom.
Right.
Has there been a demand for a follow-up or a rematch on that one?
Me and Sammy had a tag team match against a broom and a mop for sure. But I think that feud is over now because, that's it. We beat them. We regained the win. So I lost the first time, but then I won the second time, and that's what that matters.
Now, Sammy G, how did you meet him in the first place?
I met Sammy G at an Inspire show here in Texas. He came. A lot of people didn't like him. They thought he was rude and arrogant, and something about him I liked, and I think it was his je ne sais quoi, if you will, where he didn't really care about much, and I thought that was cool.
Well, I know that Aldous Snow from Get Into the Greek was a big influence on Sammy in his early days. Was Snow an influence on you as well?
Definitely not.
Well, he's an acquired taste. Inside of an African child, that cannot be disputed. What kind of music does Ricky Starks like? I don't think we know that as the public.
It's hard because I love all types of music. I literally have vinyls of, here's one that a fan gave me recently, Ooh. Stevie Wonder. Hotter Than July, one of my favorite albums. I love jazz, I love rock, I love pop, I love vaporwave, I love smooth jazz. I just love it all. Except I don't like Elvis. I think Elvis is very boring and just bland, like unseasoned chicken. I don't like him, so.
Are you aware that there's a new Glenn Danzig from the Misfits covers album where he just did Elvis songs?
I'm definitely going to pass on that.
Let's think about this one. Danzig, worked with Rick Rubin, who funded Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and the Misfits were a tag team in WCW. Don't you have to give them a chance by default?
I didn't know that. That's awesome. Rick Rubin funded Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Rick Rubin, who's from the very town that I sit in, Long Beach, New York, where Stu and Helen Hart met. Weirdly, even though they're Canadian, they met here in Long Island, New York. So
I love that tidbit. That's a good one. I'm going to keep that one. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Long Beach, New York, the wrestling mecca of the world that people don't know? I don't know.
Yeah, I knew about that, but I just didn't know about. That's crazy.
Somebody just asked, what do you think of Melina?
What I think about Melina? I think Melina is a legend. I think that she brings such good energy to the locker room of NWA, and just a bunch of forthright. Moving forward, it's really. I think it's a good thing.
Sure. A couple people asking what you think of Brock Lesnar.
Larry David.
Yeah, you have to do a little more squint. I think when you do the Larry David, you have to say pretty.
That's if he likes it. If he likes it, he'll do that. But if he's like, So I think Brock hit its peak in 2012. So let's just leave it at that.
You just got a hello from France. Have you been to France before?
I've never been to France, but hello, France. I was trying to figure out how to say hello in French, and I forgot.
Bonjour.
I thought that was goodbye, but I think it's both, right?
Is it like aloha or shalom? It's one of those multi-purpose.
I thought the same thing.
You got a hello from Ireland, a hello from Australia. Wow.
Hi, Australia. Hi, Ireland. I've been to Ireland. I love Dublin. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. I've never wrestled in Southeast Asia, and I am open to it. I would love to go, and go to the Philippines would be nice to wrestle there.
Well, Ricky is just answering all these questions here. Let's get 2 or 3 more good questions at Ricky, and then let's give the man some time. He's got to get back to a prison workout here. Okay. Okay, what's your favorite moment in the NWA?
When I won the world television title.
No thanks to...
Oh, we have fans from India. Nice. What's the language in India? What's the native language in India?
You got a few of them. You got Punjabi. You got... come on, no one else is going to chime in and call me ignorant.
I know there's some people. I had a friend who speaks Hindu and he lives in India now. He taught me how to say good evening, which is Susinja. And that's Hindi, right? Susinja. I think it's good evening.
Languages. Wow, Rohit.
Hindi, yeah.
Tamil, woof. Bengali, yeah. Well,
it's a lot.
I think you have people of many, many languages right here.
Nice. That's always a good thing. I always try to learn different languages as well.
Somebody asked what you thought of Scott Steiner joining Impact. That's kind of a random question for you.
He's a part of Impact now. I didn't know that. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. India, much love.
Are you eyeing the NWA World Title?
Well, actually, I am no longer a part of the NWA.
Ooh, did we know that?
No, you didn't. No one did. It's the first time. Yeah, it's the first time for everything. So I definitely, I can still be in contention for the title regardless. So I will answer that with a definite yes. Damien Sandow is still with the NWA. Yes.
And I assume he's a pleasure to work with. That guy looks like a lot of fun.
So it's so funny, so easy, so nice. A great human being, so helpful. I can't say enough good things about him.
And then in terms of you no longer being part of an NWA situation, are you allowed to say what you're doing, or is that something we're going to have to wait and see?
Oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm just a free agent now. So the world's on pause currently, and I'll just have to figure out what I'm gonna do after that. But yeah, I'm not I'm not trying to hide anything. I just don't have any plans.
Got it. When this all blows over and everyone's going out and about, what are the first few things that you're going to do?
The gym. The gym first and foremost. Secondly, I'll be honest with you. This whole thing is no different than what I've been doing, where I'd come home and just stay in my house for the weekend and then leave on a Monday or whatever. So this guy asked, would I like a stint in Japan? I actually did wrestle in Japan. I wrestled for DDT Pro, and I loved it. I would go back to Japan in a heartbeat. It was absolutely amazing, and it was great. This person asked, who's my dream opponent? Well, that's easy. Yeah, Undertaker.
And is he in Austin, Texas as well?
Yeah, he is. A lot of people live here. You'd be surprised. So it's, one day it will happen. You must put it into the universe.
You have to read The Gift or whatever it's called. And
yeah, The Secret.
Let's get one more good question for Ricky, and then he's a free man. Who would you rather wrestle? Vessel or wrestle? I don't know which one that one was. I think we can do. Let's get a really good question here, and end on a high note. Do you know Cody Rhodes? I mean, doesn't everyone know Cody Rhodes except?
Yeah, I've met him before, sure.
Tom, hey Tom, Tom Colley, great writer there.
You're a great writer, Tom. I love your stuff.
Let's go out on that one. Would you be okay going to AEW after your NWA stint?
I'm okay going wherever I feel like I would have a chance to live and survive. So, sure, if I would go there. I know it's not the most popular answer, but WWE too, I would go there as well.
Cool. Ricky, you've been very generous with your time here. You are a charismatic, rising star. So Sportskeeda cannot thank you enough for your time and your energy here. Yes, the eyebrows on point as always. We look forward to seeing what's next for you, and just stay awesome, will you?
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me, and I'm glad you guys stayed up. I know it's past 9 o'clock in India, right? So, before I go, hold on. This is for all the fans in India. There's a company that I watch on YouTube, and it's a group of kids, and they wrestle. I swear to God, they set up like these elaborate cages and all that. I can't remember the name of it, but I know they live in India, and it's so good. They play like these different characters from WWE, and they wrestle on like tops of roofs and in the streets and whatnot. If you haven't seen it, it is so great. I really want to meet those kids. I really want to shake their hand because it has provided me with, Angar TV.
Yeah.
It is so good. I love it. I watch that stuff religiously. If you haven't seen it, you have to. You have to go watch it. It's so good.
Well, let's take that as a sign that Ricky will go to Angar TV for a booking. So
I will. I thought about it, and I will do it. I will do that. I'll go to India just for those guys.
Cool, man. Well, we will tag in the socials. Let's make the Angar thing happen, and thank you for your time.
Take care. Goodbye.